This week's gardening tip is about weed control. One of the most common questions I get is how do you keep your gardens weed-free during the summer so that you can spend your time picking vegetables instead of pulling weeds? And I use two different strategies in my two main gardens. So this is my vegetable garden, and this one I will run through it with a cultivator about once a week throughout the gardening season, and that allows me to go clean up in between the plants and remove any sort of weeds that are starting to grow. And weed frequency seems to work really well. So this is kind of what a cultivator looks like. It could have 3 or 4 prongs. And again, this is something that you could do not only in a vegetable garden, in a flower bed, or any other type of garden that you might be keeping. So I just take the cultivator and I clean up in between my plants, and it'll take care of any of the the weeds that are beginning to grow. It'll clean it all up. It'll open up the surface so that when you water it, the water's going to get in there a lot easier instead of pulling up. And as you can see, looking behind me, the garden's all been cleaned up, and we're ready to water vegetables and pick vegetables throughout the week. Now, my squash garden, I use a very different strategy for that. I layer the squash garden with grass clippings beginning in June when I plant the garden, and each week I just keep layering it with grass clippings, and it does an excellent job keeping the weeds under control and also keeping the moisture in the ground, keep it from evaporating. So that is my tip for the week for weed control.